Welcome everyone to our Wellness Wednesday. I'm so excited to have you here with us and really just learning about 3 International. My name is Amy Dunlap and I am your host for this evening. I am a brand ambassador with 3 International, and I can tell you that these products have completely changed my life. You're in for a treat tonight. We're going to be interviewing one of our scientific advisory board members and talking to several brand ambassadors in the field of 3 that have had extremely amazing success with the 3 products. And so first of all, I'm going to introduce you to our host. I'm going to give you just a little bit of information about him because I want you to hear his history and story straight from him. But Dr. Baker practices internal medicine at his preventative wellness-based practice, Platinum Health and Wellness in Northwest Arkansas. He has a proactive approach to patient care with a focus on cardiovascular health, and he's inspired by the fact that his own family has a history of cardiovascular disease. Dr. Baker, I want to just give you a heartfelt welcome because from the day that I met you and your wife, your heart, your caring, your compassion. I've seen you deal with people in need. I've seen you I know that there are times that, even right now that there's chaos going on at home with transitioning and family members, but you're always here for us with your heart of service. And having someone like you here with our scientific advisory board means the world. And so I'm so excited that you're here with us, Dr. Baker, tonight. And I would love for you to share with the world of 3 just a little bit about your history. Why medicine? What are your roots? Where did you come from? What's your story? Tell us a little bit about you, Dr. Baker.
Well, thank you so much, Amy, and all that are with us tonight. Very much. This is an honor. I'll be brief about it. I'm from an area where sort of where you are. I was born and raised in Arkansas, although I've lived in other states during my training. It's an interesting story, Amy. I was 5 years old when I knew and realized I was going to be a physician, and I never wavered from that. Little kids will say, well, they're going to be a fireman or a policeman or something. They change 100 times before they're grown. I never changed. And so I've always wanted to do things that help others and take care of people. And so that's just been my passion my entire life. And so that's really it in a nutshell.
I love that. I love it that even as a child, that this was something that you wanted to do. What were you like as a kid? And what was that like? Were you studious? Were you?
Well, my mother would tell you I was perfect. No, I'm kidding. She shouldn't. But no, I loved school. Actually, did well in school, and so I have a lot of passions outside of medicine as well. Elisa and I love to travel. I did martial arts for years and love doing that, and so we're involved in quite a few different things. So we have kids. We have 5 kids and 4 grandkids now, so that sort of keeps us pretty busy as well.
That's awesome. That's amazing, Dr. Baker. And Elisa is your wife. She's just, you guys just together are such a light to this world and everybody that you come into contact with. I've never heard anyone speak anything but amazingly positive things about you and your family. So that's incredible. Tell us a little bit about, so you graduated from high school, you went to college, tell us about that. Tell us a little bit about your journey in education, where you went to school, and tell us a little bit about that.
You bet. I always obviously had an interest in the sciences. And so when I went to college, at that time, they had what they call pre-med majors, pre-medicine major. But you had to pick out of chemistry, biology, and math, typically some other main area of study. And so of all things, I picked chemistry. I was a chemistry major, the real geek side of study, like Dr. Dan likes to say. And so I actually graduated with a degree in analytical chemistry and worked for 3 years, literally to the day, as an analytical organic chemist before I went to medical school. But again, knowing what I was going to do during that 3 years, the purpose was to save up enough money to go to my first year of medical school, which is what I did. And so that was an amazing time of life, difficult, but very rewarding. Again, I was one of the few who was able to literally pay off my first year of medical school, and so many come out in such debt after medical school, and I was blessed to not really have much debt, and so that was important.
For whatever reason, when you were sharing that story, I just had goosebumps from my head to my toes for some reason. So, I think that what a testimony to who you are as a human, that you went to work and you grinded it out for your dream. That's incredible, because I know, not everyone can or is willing to do that, yet you did that. And the minute that you said organic chemistry, lights started going off in my mind. So that's your background, your undergraduate. I want to come back to that in just a second. So you graduated in what year, and then what?
Okay, what I did was I started medical school a long time ago in '82 and graduated med school in '86. I was one of those kind of things. Nobody in my family had ever been to college, much less to a professional school. So, and by me being out 3 years working as a chemist from, after college, I went into it very fearful, Amy. I thought, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to fail? And I guess I overcompensated, because I was very blessed. I was the #1 graduate in my med school class. I was awarded by the State Board of Regents as the most outstanding medical student of the year. And so I was very blessed to be able to do that. And probably it was just the passion for what I wanted to do is what drove me there. I was able to work as hard as I could and maybe study a little harder than the rest did, and that kind of thing. And so because of that, it was quite an honor at graduation. I was one of the class officers, and so I was up front of all these hundreds and hundreds of people. I'll never forget at the podium looking down at the plaques beside there that was going to be given out to people that night. Went back to the table with my family and said, I'm getting 3 of the top awards. And so I didn't even know. So it was pretty cool. It was a cool time in my life for sure.
That just, once again, goosebumps as you're opening your mouth. I don't even know what to say, but that, incredible. And what a testimony to going to work and, just putting your eye on the prize. And, like John Maxwell says, feeling the fear and just doing it anyway. So what a testimony. And 3 is absolutely blessed to have you here. Of all the places you could have landed, chosen, here you are with us, helping to watch over our science, guide us, love us hard. So why 3? Like, out of every company and every product, you have a background in organic chemistry, so you're not a stranger to these things. So why 3 international?
Well, Amy, thank you for asking that. It's one of those things I do get asked that often, and it's fairly simple. It's the advanced delivery technology that we use, the cellular delivery technology. And I say that because, without getting too sciencey with people, a lot of these ingredients, a lot of these nutrients we've heard of before that are in our 3 products. The problem being is the absorption part of it, the bioavailability part of it. And that's where we have taken 3 and those ingredients to a whole different level. I've recommended supplements to my patients my entire practice career, over 30 years now. And, the problem being is, even though I knew that we needed supplementation because of the lack of the nutrients that's in our soil anymore, it was, I put people on things, but I was also knowing in my heart that it was going to be a very low percentage of it that's absorbed. But when I found out the advanced cellular technology that we use to deliver these nutrients, these minerals, elements, vitamins, all these kind of things into our bodies at the cellular level, that was all I needed to know. That was what got my attention. I think that you'll find that's what got several of the scientific advisory board members. It's what got their attention to join and affiliate and be a heartfelt part of 3.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. And Dr. Baker, I come more from the creative side of the world than the scientific side. So I'm, live more creatively. But I will tell you, for me, I started using our collagen, and we have a testimony about the collagen, but I started using the collagen. And as I was using it, 10 days into my first round of collagen, I went to preschool to pick up my grandson, and my husband went with me. And when we first started using the collagen, my husband didn't want to try it because he thought it's kind of powdery blue looking. He thought it was for a girl. And so I took his and mine. And so when I was at preschool, I was holding my grandson on my hip, and the teacher said, my husband was with me, and the teacher said, "No, what does your husband do? What does your dad do?" She said, "What does your dad do?" And I thought, what? My dad's retired. She knows my dad. And she said, "Yeah, your dad," and pointed at my husband.
Oh,
And so we got back to the car, and he was like, my husband said, "What does your dad do?" Just like giving me a hard time. But so he started taking the collagen, but my results were so powerful in those first 10 days and then going forward. And so I have used collagen off and on my whole life. My whole adulthood. And so to have this work like this is incredible, which to me is a testimony to the delivery. And I'm so excited for you to see some of these upcoming slides and some of the brand partners we're going to look at. And I would love for you to, maybe kind of share a little bit of your thoughts as we bring them up, and we'll let them share their story. And I would love to have input from you of why you believe they're seeing what they're seeing with 3 International.
Absolutely.
And yeah. The first person we have up is from California. His name is Chris Rickettsial. So Chris, if you would just share with us a little bit about you, where you're from, a little bit of your scoop, and tell us, what have you experienced so far with these products from 3 International?
Well, hello. So I live in the Bay Area and born and raised in California. So I own a real estate marketing company. So I out and about, and about 5 years ago, I had somebody who challenged me to do the Reebok Spartan races at 54 years old, and they were 30. So we did this Reebok Spartan races, and I did the trifecta in 6 months: 4.5 mile, 8.5 mile, and 16.5 mile at Squaw Valley, all with people half my age. Squaw Valley was an 8-hour event.
Wow.
And it was great. And I had some surgery on my meniscus surgery back in 2000, and then my knees have been great. And then end of 2019, I started developing, like, my knees are getting really harsh and hard to bend. And I live in a 2-story house. And it got to the point where I had gone hiking, and my friend almost had to carry me out because I couldn't do the decline at all. Like, the first time I'd been hiking for a little while, and that was it. He had to help me out of where we were hiking to get to the car. And I thought I was going to have to sell my house. And then somebody on our team introduced me to 3, and I started taking the products, and I doubled up on some of them based on somebody on the team suggesting that. And I went from barely able to go down my stairs to now back to the gym doing lunges and box jumps and squats and barbells and doing things that the college guys do at there. And I'm 59 and a half. So and I use all the products, all 6. I double up on Revive kind of on a regular basis. And obviously the collagen has done a lot for the pictures for my hand there. In the first 30 days, all my age spots kind of almost dissipated entirely. And my grayer hair had been wiry, was now soft again. And so there's nothing on this planet that I would not use with the products these days. The super hot sleeper, no longer. One night go to the bathroom at night from 4 Like it's kind of a little endless cycle of just like every product I use, but I think the Revive has been that with my knee healing. And even my doctor who lives down the street from me from Kaiser is like, I don't know what you're doing, but you were on the way to having full knee replacement surgery when I had my x-rays done 2 years ago.
Wow, Chris, what a story. And thank you so much for sharing that. And of course, our products don't treat, prevent, or cure disease or illness. We're proactive wellness. And so I'm really excited. Dr. Baker, I know that the story, I know that it has to be so inspiring for you as well to hear these results, and you're in the proactive wellness field. And so to see this happening, I know that you have to be elated, but why do you feel, or how would you speak to Chris, or what do you think the difference is? I mean, this is quite an improvement. What would you say in the 3 product line or with the Revive that is benefiting Chris?
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay, Amy?
You are perfect.
Chris, what a great story, man. That is awesome. I don't have quite as dramatic of a story, but athletics, being active, busy. Like I was saying, I did martial arts for many years, ran way too many years, one of those kind of things. And so I very much believe in the Revive. Obviously, supporting our natural inflammatory response is the name of the game. And, the curcumin, you guys may know there's over 10,000 articles out there about the health benefits of curcumin. We can't claim, it's mitigating, curing, treating any disease, like Amy said, but some of these things that help with our recovery time and our mobility and our flexibility and those kind of things, it's just amazing for that. And so, that's a great story. But the rest of the products, when you put the right products into your body, and then you add on top of that, like I mentioned earlier about the advanced delivery technology that gets them into the cells themselves, that's why you feel better. That's why you're more alert. That's why your functionality in general is better. And so, anyway, great story, Chris. I mean, you have a wonderful testimony, pal. That's good.
Yeah. And, having been on other, really good products before, nothing did anything like this did. And, I almost didn't try it because I was happy with my other stuff. Like, this is the best it's going to get, people. So yeah, if anybody's more excited than me, it's me, because I did not want to stop working out and stop doing all that. And, and I'm really glad I don't have to stop doing that anymore.
Yeah, well, the collagen too, a lot of us don't realize that, the main structural protein in our body is collagen. And where is a lot of that needed? Our skin, obviously. As we age, or like I like to say, when we have birthdays, we lose some of our collagen abilities and we don't produce as much collagen. With the collagen that you're taking, it's not only replacing it, 10 days on and 20 days off, but it's actually stimulating your body's own production of collagen again. That's why your hands and your skin improve so much. And I've seen dramatic results. So yeah, good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, Chris, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing your story. And Chris, I know that if I'm just going to ask you this question. Are you willing to tell Dr. Baker your age? Because I about fell out of my chair when you told me your age.
Well, I turned 59 this year. So I always find it amazing that, I just I do good skincare. I don't go out in the sun. I put on, sunscreen all the time. But, it's kind of surprising that the changes in the collagen with just the smoothness and even the inflammation that went down and just the way that the skin tone and the redness, I have a lot of redness, all dissipated after being on the collagen for a time. So 100% believe in that. I will never use anything else for sure.
Yeah, that's an amazing product. No doubt about it, Chris. No doubt.
Yeah, that is. Well, Chris, thank you so much for your testimony. Dr. Baker, before I bring up our next testimony, one thing that I know that you're excited about and I'm excited about is that all 6 of these products are in the physician desk reference. So as an MD, what are your thoughts on that? How does that give you more confidence? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you, Amy, for asking about that. I meant to mention that earlier, but yes, the PDR, the physician's desk reference, or the provider's digital reference, if you want to call it that. Now, it's not the big thick book that we had for so many years in our offices anymore, but those are prescription drugs. That's what's in that book. So you don't see very often, very rarely actually, where they accept nutraceuticals or basically, nutritional supplements into that book. And so to have the type of level of technology and the efficacy of these things, the science behind them, to the point to where they looked at them and said, my goodness, we're going to put all 6 of them in the PDR. So I actually mentioned it to a doctor in my office. It was either today or yesterday. And I said, by the way, all 6 of our products are in the PDR now. Did you know that? He looked at me and he said, what? And I said, yeah, that's true. He said, nutraceuticals they put in the PDR? So he didn't even know they put any in there. So that is an amazing thing that all of us should be sharing with, particularly medical people that we may know, because they'll understand what that means. Being the PDR and it's a nutritional supplement is just not done often.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. And that means that every single ingredient in every single product has been approved by the FDA. Not that our products are approved by the FDA, but every single ingredient in every single one of our products. I mean, we really are so innovative on so many levels. Well, our next testimony, look at those pictures, Dr. Baker. And I think the reason why this particular testimony sticks out so much to me, as we'll bring up Bambi Pasculado-Pabalan from California, but Bambi is an esthetician. And so I look at her pictures and literally I want to pick my jaw up off of the table. And it's incredible because she's always taken care of her skin. But as she started onto our collagen and our Eternal, I mean, do we even need to say anything or just show a picture? I mean, it's crazy and incredible. And so I'm excited, Bambi, if you can share with us a little bit about your story, your scoop, where you're from, what you do, and your experience so far with these 3 products.
Okay, thank you, Amy. So my name is Barbara Pabalan. I'm the owner of Barbara Beyond Skin here in Brea, California. I've been a master hydrofacialist for the last 10 years, but doing skincare, all things that are beauty for the last 23 years. So this, for me, having great skin has been very personal for me, Amy. Why? Because I started with my daughter. She was born with moderate to severe eczema. And before getting into the skincare and all things that are beautiful, I started like flying for the last 12 years. So I was a flight attendant. And then I've been searching high and low, for things that is good for her, shying away from the steroids, because it really makes her skin very, very thin at an early age since she was in high school. So when my daughter had this, I've been like really searching all those skincare. So to cut the story short, I tried everything myself. I tried it to all my clients until one day when Dr. Bell came to see me for her facials. And then she introduced me to this great supplements. At first, I was hesitant. Being an esthetician, you've been trying like probably thousands of products in the market. But when she introduced me to this supplement, okay, this is something new that I would really want to consider. And it was, I tried Maxine to get into it. First, trying the collagen for the next 10 days. And then after that, I always think out of the box. So instead of doing like keeping it for the next month for another 10, I just rested. I make her rest for 5 days and then put her on again for the next 10 days. I did it like a little bit of like therapeutic. We've been doing a lot of like hit or miss. So I told her, Maxine, just like try to keep on doing it and then see. And then I was like almost like crying when she told me that, Mom, with her face, she's 30 years old now. And then she was telling me, Mom, I'm having like this good hydration inside my body. So after that, I started her already with Eternal, like little by little, so that I know where, I can see like I'm very always doing like clinical research and data. It has to be a lot of like that in order for me to really believe and to see it. So after having her with Eternal, she was telling me that, Mom, it's even her scalp, because she has less eczema, even her scalp is really, really doing great right now. So I'm just so happy. So I started sharing it to my clients after. When I started sharing it to my clients, I've been doing a lot of worst acne conditions, worst anything that's like for scalp, for skin. And then they started using it first, again, doing it like collagen first for the next 4 weeks, and then doing it with Eternal the second month. And they were telling me, Barbara, what is it that you're giving me? Then I was only, it is something that my whole family used it. Before I introduce it to clients, I would use it first. I use it for my family so that I know how it feels. So I'm just so happy. So now it is my mission already to share it to not only to my clients, especially to all my friends and family back home. I'm just so happy to share them and experience what I am experiencing here in America. And I'm just getting so excited. So I just hope that soon after the launch, I am really, really happy to be sharing not only the Eternal, not only the collagen, but in general, everything. Because now I've also started sharing them the Revive and the even with Maxine, the Purify. Because I told her she needs to detox and remove all the metals in her body too. Sometimes, on weekends she would still drink and take alcohol. And it makes her skin dry. So, but I told her just keep on using it. And then she was just telling me, Mommy, I thank you. She couldn't thank me enough really for having this. So it's not really only for me, but at this point, she didn't want me to document it and take her picture. But soon, probably, she would allow me to take her picture. I have her old pictures, and then probably later on, I can take her picture now that she's really doing so well with her skin. Thank you.
Way to
Wow,
go.
Bambi. That's incredible. And you're glowing, your before and after is incredible. And then hearing the story of your daughter and then your clients is just incredible. And, Dr. Baker, we're hearing these stories day after day after day, and the photos coming in that are shocking because of the differences that we're seeing. And so what would you attribute that to with our collagen? And then particularly then also adding the Eternal. So and of course you heard Bambi talk about her daughter and her dry skin. So what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Well, Barbara, that is awesome. Talk about the chills like Amy was having. I had it while you were speaking. Again, the collagen, there are a lot of products out there, Barbara, which I'm sure doing what you do, but to have a product that is not only purely fish, marine collagen, 5,000 milligrams of it, that is micronized and hydrolyzed, that's really what sets it apart. We'll probably talk more about this at the convention, but that is a form of the absorption technology, is this micronized, purified form of this, micronized and hydrolyzed, I'm sorry. And so that's one of the things that really sets our collagen apart from any other collagen products out there. And like I mentioned earlier to Chris, it's our main structural protein in our body, and especially the skin, but also, again, other soft tissue of the body, ligaments, joints, cartilage, those kind of areas. They're not curing disease or anything like that, like we've said, but collagen, we need collagen. And as we age, we lose our collagen. We lose the ability to produce new collagen. That's what sets it. And most people don't think about something as simple as pomegranate that's in our collagen. What's pomegranate do? It does many things, but one of them is it actually stimulates our body's own production of collagen. So it has so many aspects. I could talk with you for 40 minutes or more about collagen and collagen. So great story. Your Eternal, Eternal has always been one of my favorite products, and such a powerful blend of antioxidants, other biochemicals in that, molecules that are pretty amazing. But glutathione is the master antioxidant, and the resveratrol we talked about at a high amount of it, very absorbable amount in the deep cellular level, is what these things do. And that, once again, that's what separates Eternal apart from anything else that just happens to have antioxidants in it. This is a whole different level with these things. And so that I love the Eternal for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, Bambi, thank you for sharing your story. You are absolutely beautiful, a ray of sunshine. So thank you for joining us tonight. Amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do, Dr. Baker. I love the Eternal. I have had so many results with that, just from my glowing of skin. And I was telling Dr. Dan, I actually lost weight when I started the Eternal. After about 10 days on it, I noticed my pants fitting better and just the weight coming off. And so, I mean, I just think there's so many interesting benefits to that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Once again, when you get the right things deep into the cells of our body, it just works very different than anything else out there. So
it really is the difference. Well, this story is incredible. And I know that Elisa talked with Nilbert today as well. His testimony it just never gets old to me. I've heard him share it a couple of times, but Nilbert is from California as well. And just a great human, and having an experience with these products that are truly changing his life. And so I'd like to welcome from California, Nilbert Ng.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being on here with us tonight. Nilbert, share with the world of three what you've experienced so far on the three products.
Okay, so my wife and I were introduced to the product by accident, actually. We were on a trip, and our good friend, Dr. Bell Antioquia, gave us some supplements to help us recover. And my wife and I were both so amazed at how fast we recovered from all the flu-like symptoms. Like overnight, more than half of the symptoms were completely gone. So that prompted us to do a little bit more research. I really looked into the products because I do have several medical conditions. I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic since 2009, and I've been on oral medication since. I also have family history with gout, so I do have gout and cholesterol, high cholesterol. So I've been on, I have several prescription medications. I never really took supplements before because I felt that I'm already taking several, prescription medications. I don't want to tax my body with any more stuff that my liver or my kidney had to process. But when we researched the products and I kind of read a little bit more or heard about the science behind them, the absorption technology and all that, we really got excited, and I decided to give it a go. So before I started taking the products, I was already consciously trying to live a very healthy lifestyle just because of my conditions. I'm very careful with my sugar intake, careful with the foods that I eat. I exercise regularly. So I added the supplements to my daily regimen. I take Vitality, Eternal, Immune, and Purify daily. And both my wife and I take the collagen every month as well. Revive I take as needed, like after I train, like on runs and all that. Mm-hmm. I noticed that within about a week of taking the supplements, my energy level had significantly improved. I used to always require naps in the afternoon, and that's even with 2 to 3 cups of coffee. But after about a week or two of being on the supplements, I would think it's probably the Vitality, because it really gave me all the vitamins or the minerals that I really needed. I don't take naps anymore. And I also used to experience very frequent bloating and acid reflux. I was telling my wife the other day, hey, I can't remember the last time I had a problem with with acid reflux, with GERD. But the most the most significant change for me was as a diabetic, I check my own sugar every morning, like my fasting blood sugar. And even with medication, I usually hover around the 120s to the 130s. But after about a month and a half of being on the supplements, my fasting blood sugar is consistently around 90 and below now. Sometimes I would be about a little bit mid 90s. I guess it depends on like how much sugar I took in the previous day. So for me, it's remarkable to the point where, so I did see my physician on my last blood draw. He tested for my uric acid and my creatinine levels. Like I mentioned, I had gout. I don't have gout medication anymore because he took, my physician allowed me to get off of it about a couple years ago because I told him I wanted to try to lower my uric acid on my own. Well, after I got off the medication and then when he checked it again, it went up again. This was like about 3 months ago. And he said, I may need to get back on it. I said, let me try to still work it. And on my last lab work, my uric acid has gone down by a full point. And the only thing that's changed is I was already on these supplements at that time, like about a month, right? So, and as well as my creatinine levels, they went down as well. So it's in a downward trend for both of those. Now, my physician scheduled an A1C test for me in about another month and a half, because that'll give me about a full 2 months, 3 months being on the supplements. And I struck a deal with him, and I asked him, so doc, if my A1C goes on a downward trend, can we look at slowly weaning me off of my diabetes medication? He said, absolutely. But he says he needs to see a consistent downward trend, and he'll consider definitely taking me off, slowly. And that meant the world to me. So very life-changing.
Amazing, Nilbert. Amazing story. And thank you for sharing that with us. And, you look amazing. Your energy levels are incredible. And that just means the world to me as you're sharing the story. So that's absolutely amazing. And, once again, our products do not treat, cure, or prevent any illness or disease. And Dr. Baker, this sounds like something you might want to respond to.
Right up my alley, Nilbert. I love it. As an internist, you're like the majority of my patients. They have multiple metabolic issues. And like I may have mentioned earlier, when you put the right things in that'll absorb the cellular level, that's why the body improves. But specifically, several of the products helping boost our natural cellular energy, which is where it's in the mitochondria, right? So we know how effective several, Purify, Vitality, Eternal, you're going to get a lot of benefit at the cellular levels, particularly in the mitochondria. That's our powerhouses inside our cells. And so that's one of the reasons that it helps. And, some of those kind of things, as your metabolism improves, those kind of things, there's where, the insulin resistance kind of issues may come in. We can't claim again it's treating any disease process. But again, when you put the right things in, you're going to see a difference. So I couldn't be more pleased. And something I wanted to mention just really quickly is in the immune, most of us don't know that 80% of our immune system comes from our microbiome, which is the bacterial growth in our colon. I discuss this with all of my patients. I actually do testing and measuring markers for that. And so as you improve that, Nilbert, that's going to have a lot of effect on your overall metabolism. So your metabolism and just your general health and the way your body functions properly at the cellular level. So the immune is an amazing addition for you. And like I said, we could go into each one of them, but we won't right now. Great story, Nilbert. I love it. I love to see when I got people with multiple metabolic issues and get them all in line. that makes your day. So you've made your doctor's day, it sounds to me like.
Yeah, that's incredible, Nilbert. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know I want to thank all of our testimonies tonight. Amazing job. And Dr. Baker, thank you so much for how, you just speak into each person, and your love and joy just shows through. So know that we don't take it for granted, and appreciate everything that you're doing for us every single day. If you're on tonight and you're interested in getting more information about the product or our global movement, because we are a global company in 14 different countries worldwide, get with the person that had you get on. They can send you more information and help you to make a decision to get started. And we hope you have an amazing, amazing night and a great rest of your week. Thank you so much, Dr. Baker. It was a joy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Good night.